I think that it's very important to see how the mighty have fallen. How the Young Turks, which were at one point a very beloved independent news organization before they sold out completely and became insane. And this is just one of the examples. Fox News is batshit crazy, and this was when Obama first got into office. And this video is Cenk saying how insane Fox News and conservatives like Newt Gingrich are to suggest that Obama is a dictator. And his main point is how insane and ridiculous it is to state that 2 months into administration, they're claiming dictatorship. Just watch for a moment.
Now, 2 months into Obama's administration, they have no reservation whatsoever. Instantly, they call him a dictator. Instantly. You think that they were going to hold back? They're not going to hold back. Of course not. They're Republicans.
They're Republicans. Only Republicans are fucking so goddamn insane that to 2 months into an administration would call him a dictator. What kind of fucking psychopaths would do that? Fox News, Michelle Bachmann, all those crazy ass motherfuckers, right? Right? Okay, this is today.
This is 3 days after the election now, in 2016.
3 days after the election. Not even a day into the presidency.
And I'm ready to do a prediction on how the Trump administration is going to wind down.
Wouldn't you think that on the heels of getting fucked in the ass completely by reality and fucking up so grandly about who was going to win the election, going so far as to have a hashtag, Loser Donald, wouldn't you think you'd be a little bit humble? Wouldn't you think you'd take a step back a little bit? See, now, of course, I wouldn't expect that from the mainstream media, because the mainstream media knows it's dead and they're trying to fight, and they have no choice but to double down. They have no choice but to double down. They cannot accept responsibility for what happened. And understand, there's a lot of people scared right now. And some of that is because of the media. And there are legitimate things to be concerned about with Trump. I am not suggesting that it's all ridiculous. But at least half of it's fucking bullshit. But the reason I'm making a big deal about the Young Turks is because they are independent from what I understand. So regardless of how we feel about them, regardless of the fact that they completely ignore how their thumbs up and thumbs down ratio has drastically changed and how they're getting sometimes even thumbs up and thumbs down, tells you that the people are not happy with your coverage and the people are calling you out on your bullshit. But the one thing about the Young Turks that we must realize is they are going to be here for a while. If the mainstream media dies, the Young Turks are going to be one of the independent media companies. And we need to hold them accountable for their bullshit because they're going to be around. So, Cenk Uygur is responsible with shit like this for the fear that people are having.
Okay.
It's very early.
It is very early. Because
Inauguration's in like 100 days.
Right.
Yes.
So I read the stories. I know who he's going to put in charge of the different.
Notice, and you can go. I forget who made a video about it. Yeah, he reads the stories. Oh yeah, there was a story. You can check the video. Someone made a video on it also. He claimed that Trump backed off his promise of a wall, and when you go to the news article that Cenk quotes from, and you read it in context, that's not at all what is going on. Now, I don't give a fuck about the wall. I'm not a Trump supporter, although I did vote for him to keep Clinton out of office. But this is the type of not only, you're either piss poor in your coverage of shit, or you're just blatantly dishonest. The thing about Cenk is you would say, well, why is he acting like this? Why is he lying? Why was he a Clinton supporter? I just think he does not like to admit when he's wrong. Because instead of being at the forefront of the change in independent media, which he could be, he has a massive subscriber count. They have massive reach. But instead, they look like they are going to double down on the bullshit. And what's ridiculous about that, not only because it's dishonest, but do you not think, when you look at this view count and you look at the thumbs up and thumbs down, do you think it's going to get better if you don't stop your bullshit? The people will eventually make sure you don't exist anymore. They're just not going to watch. Eventually, that is what's going to happen. Let's continue.
Cabinet positions, roughly speaking, right? It's going to be a cast of characters, and they're going to get.
Oh, and one thing about the cabinet, I hate to just keep interrupting here, Cenk, but you notice the racist, homophobic, misogynist appointed a gay man, a black man, and a woman to his cabinet. Oh, but we're going to ignore that because he's a racist, homophobic bigot. Now, I'm not saying he's 100% not that, but the media makes him literally Hitler, and that's insane.
Get put in different spots. And I know these guys. I've studied them for almost their entire political career. So by the end and near end of the Trump presidency, within 3 years in to the end, we will have an epic disaster.
Does Cenk believe that he has the same level of credibility that he used to have? Does he think that we are trusting his research on anything at this point? Because someone should let him know that you've lost a lot of credibility, my friend.
We will have it's
Like
a lot of people
Katrina
say that.
or
No, political disaster, a constitutional disaster, okay? Because a lot of people say that, but they don't really know what it means. They people like to talk in no, Trump is a strong man, okay? He, like Putin, like Erdogan in Turkey, and he knows no bounds. And having had no bounds ever put on him as a spoiled brat, and now he won the presidency, he thinks, the laws don't apply to me, the rules don't apply to me. Look at what I did at Trump University. Look at what I did in 1,000 different instances, and I always got away with it. Now, he's also a serial bungler.
Yeah, because the candidate that you supported is in no way ever like that. Hillary Clinton always followed the rules and made sure she did it the right way. No one ever predetermined anything for her. It's not like she was given the Democratic what the fuck is that shit? I'm drawing a blank on a very easy fucking thing. The nomination. No, that's not, she was just given that. Oh, come on. Don't be silly.
And he is putting into place people like Newt Gingrich, Rudy Giuliani, etc., who will all bring the law to its very edge and very likely, very often go over that edge. So
I know, it's just so crazy. I mean, I'm just so glad that you're not a hypocrite and that the candidate you supported would never, ever even think of doing something like that.
by the time they're 3 years in, they will be intensely unpopular, partly because they have abused our normal way of doing things in America.
I know, because dude, Donald Trump was like so unpopular with everybody. And he was like totally not going to get any Latino vote or any black vote. And he totally had no chance of winning the election.
And the American people would wake up out of their stupor and go, oh, yeah, I really wanted to throw a brick through the window of the establishment, but it looks like I broke more than a window. This thing's really bad. That's part.
Hear that, people? It's your fucking fault. Whatever happens bad is your fault. Because you saw the two candidates, and instead of voting for the clearly established queen, No, you had to do it the way that Cenk didn't want you to do it. So just remember, it's all your fault. Not Hillary's fault. Of course not.
Part one. Part two is Trump is so incompetent that there is no way that he is not going to botch 2 to 3 huge things in those 3 years.
Yes.
Okay? So his popularity is going to be probably in the 20s. Now,
Well, look, I'm just so glad that you supported a candidate that didn't botch shit like Libya, Honduras, Haiti. Oh, no, of course. Because, well, the thing with botching that's so sad is that people lose their lives. And I'm just so pleased that you can sit there with a clean conscience and in a complete non-hypocritical manner talk about Hillary, who has no blood whatsoever on her hands because of botching.
that sets into a chain of events that is very dangerous. Then he will begin to realize, and all of his cronies will begin to realize, they are not going to get reelected, and hence they will lose power. But in that time, they have already done self-dealing. They have already bent or very likely broken several important laws. Now, and they think, as all strongmen do, and that's why they never ever want to let go of power. That's why you can't get at Putin or Erdogan out literally with a coup or a handlebar or anything or a blowtorch. You can't get them out of office because they know the minute they leave office, then all their wrongdoing becomes apparent. So they can't have that. And these guys have no rules anyway. They have no bounds of decency or what they view as American principles. And so they will begin.
So just to make clear, if you're following along, Donald Trump is totally a dictator because he is going to do bad stuff. And then when it looks like he's not popular, he's going to do some more bad stuff and then change the laws so he can become a dictator. And this is all, there's no links or sources for any of this. You just need to trust Cenk because, look, his judgment is so sound. I mean, his predictions are just so accurate, making hashtags, calling people loser. It was so accurate. So just trust and believe, listen and believe, because Cenk, we can trust him, right? Right?
To attack the media, not in the way that Trump did during the campaign. That was an appetizer. I'm talking about an actual attack. Begin to jail people, come up with excuses. Hey, look, Obama opened the door. Whistleblowers are prosecuted under the Espionage Act.
Right. Because Obama prosecutes whistleblowers, that means that putting innocent people in prison for no reason is definitely going to happen. Oh yeah, no question.
Right? So he will, that door that's been pried open, he will kick open. And so there will be huge issues with jail, I think potentially jail.
Right, because whistleblowing is the same thing as being a reporter, right? That's the same thing? That's the same exact thing? No.
Members of the media, political opponents, and people will go, what, this is nuts, what are we doing here? But the more he does it, and the stronger he gets, the more compliant some portions of the media and even the opposition will be.
Definitely.
And his supporters will get more emboldened. So then America will have to choose, because we will be at a boiling point about 4 years from now. And we will be on the precipice of a constitutional crisis. Mark it down.
Hear that, people? Mark it down. Nostradamus has spoken, and he's being so responsible in a time like this, when everything is so calm and cool and the streets are clear and there's no protests and people are totally feeling safe. We want to make sure that we make these predictions just so we are not making the problem any worse. Mark it down.
It's gonna happen because it is in their nature. All these things I said are nearly inevitable. Trump is not going to turn around and decide, oh, well, now that I've gone 70 years breaking all the rules and having everything be about me and self-dealing and taking my own charity and then just buying portraits of myself with it.
I know. I mean, isn't it so great that Cenk supported a candidate that when it came to her charity, oh, the Clinton Foundation was totally so righteous and clean. And it's not like there's an FBI criminal investigation currently going on. No, no, no. It was perfect. Did you know that millions of people are helped by the Clinton Foundation and all that money from Qatar and Saudi Arabia? No, they care about women's rights. Don't you know that they care? You know, women aren't allowed to drive in Saudi Arabia. Did you know that? That's because they care about them. They don't want women to get hurt. Oh, you know, women driving, they're not good drivers. So Saudi Arabia loves women and they just want to make sure they're safe.
Enriching myself and giving money to my kids' school, private school, so they can I'm going to leave. No, the presidency is too important. No, a tiger doesn't change his stripes. He will do that in office. And having realized how many things that he did wrong, he's going to start thinking, I can't leave. If I leave, I'm going to be in trouble. Remember, these are the guys who chanted, lock her up.
I know. I mean, that was so unreasonable. Hillary Clinton didn't do nothing. She didn't do nothing.
Okay, so by the end...
You know what's so funny here? And it just shows you how completely gone Cenk is. He has another channel called Young Turks Politics, where he has a rare commodity. You know what that rare commodity is? There's actually two of them. I forget the girl's name. I'm really sorry. But Jordan Charlton is a rare commodity. Just like Michael Tracy, who got fired by Vice for doing his fucking job. He reported on WikiLeaks accurately. And it's so funny that he just said, oh, I mean, his supporters and Trump, they chanted lock her up. How horrible. Meanwhile, on your other fucking channel, dumbass, you got Jordan Charlton listing exactly why they need to lock her ass up. This is fucking madness. You can't tell me you don't know this. Cenk's not dumb. People like this are not dumb. A person who puts together a network like this, competing against mainstream media, and gets the Young Turks to be as successful as it is, that's not a dumb person. That's not a dumb person. But there's some shit going on here. You're gone, bro. You're fucking gone.
It will get super ugly. And one last thing about this.
Oh, please give us the one last thing. I am waiting. I can't get enough of this because this is such sound analysis. And totally responsible and not at all fear-mongering.
Look, people are worried about him attacking different minorities, etc. And for political expediency, to rile up his base, he will.
What are you talking about? Let's break this down. Let's break this down. What is he going to do? Can someone tell me? I want to know what the fuck he's going to do. Now, if you're an illegal immigrant, I would be nervous. And there is a way to do illegal immigration that's horrible. And I sincerely hope Trump doesn't do that. I get why people who have family who are illegals are nervous. I get that, okay? But if you're paying attention to what's being said, they're not going to round up people. Now, was it fucked up that he said that? Yes, there are legitimate reasons to be nervous about Trump. But to make up bullshit to get people even more riled up is completely fucking irresponsible. So what do you mean he's going to attack minorities? Can you explain this?
But that's not the main play. There's no money in that.
Right.
The real...
No, of course there's no money in attacking minorities. I mean, like, if you wanted to attack minorities, you know, you would, like, come up with a program, a bill, perhaps, if you will, that would make the drug laws really tilted against black people. So you have an entire generation of black people locked up in prison over nonviolent crimes like drug possession. I mean, what a horrible attack on minorities. I am so glad that Cenk didn't support a candidate that got involved in any sort of evil shit like that. I mean, good Lord. Then it would almost be like that candidate's like Trump. Or, I mean, they'd actually be worse than Trump because Trump hasn't really done anything yet.
The issue is, how do we get the money? So they will do the self-dealing and they will do all these different things. And so that's the main thing. And
you mean like pay to play? I am so fucking glad. How do you sit here and be happy? I'm like laughing. How do you sit there and be such a fucking hypocrite? How do you do this? How do you do this? Your hands are all out. You know what's funny here? I got to tell you something. Look at Jimmy Dore. Look at Jimmy Dore. If you watch his show, Jimmy Dore keeps it real. He's one of the few people that keeps it real. I cannot imagine he's comfortable during this conversation. He has got to know that Cenk is being a fucking hypocrite. So he's just trying to like mind his business and pretend that his conscience is not fucking destroying him right now. Because if he knows he pushes back on Cenk, he's gone. So that's just very interesting.
by the way, in the beginning, it'll start out nice and easy. Already he's got the lobbyist groups that are working, that are classic Republican lobbyist groups working behind the scenes, ready to dole out all sorts of favors to the people who gave him political contributions. That's actually totally normal in America.
Are you serious? That's exactly what happens anyway.
He'll take it to another level, but that's the political bribery and corruption we have now.
No.
He'll put it on steroids.
He's going to be busy draining the swamp. I don't know what you're talking about.
So in the beginning, there'll even be a...
Dude, Jimmy Dore is checked out of this conversation. Because Cenk is full of shit, and he knows it.
A little bit of a sense of, oh, it's not that bad, right? Oh, like, hey, it turns out, no, he didn't jail the Muslims or the Mexicans, and he didn't kick them out. This was all overblown.
Again, context matters, okay? Trump has never suggested that he was going to jail Muslims or jail Mexicans. He suggested to jail illegal immigrants who commit crimes, people who sneak over the border, okay, and Muslim-wise. Now, granted, banning an entire religion, his first statement was to ban Muslims until they figure out what the hell's going on. That was fucked up. I do not deny that. If you want to talk about that, that's a legitimate issue. Now, that has changed and evolved, and now it's banning immigration from terrorist countries until you can put in a proper vetting system. Now, if you're a person that pays attention to shit and pays attention to countries like Germany and what's going on in Germany, that's not an insane thing to do. That's actually a reasonable thing to do. Do you know that Germany decided to just open the fucking border and let anyone in? And you know what's happening? There's rapes all over the place being done by refugees. Now, that doesn't mean all refugees are rapists, but it does mean that if you let any group, no matter the religion, no matter the race, if you take a group and you let everyone in and you don't check for bad people, then bad people are going to get in. And the idea that it's somehow racist to point out that Germany has a rape problem with refugees, that's somehow wrong or racist, is fucking lunacy. And I am a liberal as fuck motherfucker. I'm not some like goddamn whatever, okay? I am a person who is on the side of letting in refugees. However, you have to fucking vet them. This idea that it's racist to vet them? Who the fuck? Are you fucking insane? And how are you as an SJW or a feminist in support of women being raped by refugees and you don't even talk about it? Insane. But I'm getting off topic. Perhaps that'll be for another video.
Concerns. And there'll be a lull. There'll be a lull of, I don't know if it's 6 months, 18 months, a year, somewhere along those lines, where people think, we were all worried about nothing. And then the terror begins. Okay, I don't mean terror as in like immediately, locking people up or going.
No, No, but terror eventually. Eventually there's going to be. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm not saying that horrible terror Hitler dictatorships are going to come immediately. What do you think? I'm a fearmonger? No. Eventually that's going to happen. And I have a giant list of sources and evidence that I have posted at the bottom of this video that is not here. Oh, okay.
Going after ethnic minorities, they're only going to go after.
Again, when has Trump said that he's going to go after ethnic minorities? It's fucking insane. You make me, a goddamn liberal, have to defend fucking Donald Trump because I care about the truth. If you want to say Donald Trump's a racist because he said the Central Park Five should still be put in prison even after DNA evidence cleared them, I'll say that's a valid point, my friend. No, I got no problem with that. But when you say Donald Trump wants to lock up all minorities, when the fuck did he say that?
The minorities, if they're cornered and they need a.
And again, most of the people talking this shit supported a candidate who is partially fucking responsible for an entire goddamn generation of black men being incarcerated over bullshit drug laws. So motherfuck all of you.
Scapegoat, right?
Or an election is coming up.
Yeah,
as it does every 3 days in America.
Yeah, I hear you. But that is not their aim. Their aim is self-aggrandizement and self-dealing and to make more money.
Have you ever seen a segment, seriously, where Jimmy Dore has been this quiet? It's because Jimmy Dore's conscience is bothering him. Jimmy, there are people looking at you, my friend. Even though it's completely fucked up that you spit on Alex Jones, you tell the truth more than these motherfuckers. But it's a tough choice because you got your livelihood on the line, but it means not saying anything when goddamn Cenk is speaking.
And to accrue more power. When they become really dangerous is when they realize they're going to lose power.
I know, like, that's just so true. Oh my God. Anyway, look, bottom line here. Cenk Uygur is going to try to talk a lot of shit to us about how we're independent media. We're different. We're not the mainstream media. You are like the mainstream media. Now you're going to be alive because you're independent and you're successful. But my friend, do you think that's going to last? When you look at these fucking view counts with the likes and dislikes. Now, I'm not saying that if a video gets any dislikes that it's bullshit. But I am saying if you take a video with a high view count and there is a large amount of dislikes, that means probably that you're full of shit and the people know it. And the fact that the Young Turks have stooped to this level is a sad thing because there's a lot of people that used to like the Young Turks. But between Cenk Uygur's bullshit, shilling for Hillary, and goddamn Anna's turning into the queen of the fucking white liberal feminists that's clearly better than all of us, and that we're all stupid, you guys have lost your fucking way, and you're responsible for some of the shit and the fear-mongering and the fact that people are scared. That shit is on you, motherfucker. I am the Hard Bastard. Thank you for watching. I will see you next time.